Let's kick it out to LCU alums Nathan Karseno and Brennan Riker for the Lady Chap Pregame Show, live from the UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Nate, take it away.
Thank you, Nick, and welcome to the Elite Eight. It is time for LCU Lady Chap basketball on the biggest stage as they have won the South Central Region Championship for the fifth time in program history to advance to the national tournament. And the only thing in their way here tonight is the 4-seed Pittsburg State Gorillas out of Pittsburg, Kansas, as we're getting ready for the nightcap. As Nick mentioned, the final game of the quarterfinal round. We have had 3 basketball games leading up to this one here at UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse on the campus of Duquesne University here in downtown Pittsburgh. I'm Nathan Karseno, bringing you play-by-play action in this ball game, and I'm joined on my right side by fellow LCU alum Brennan Riker. He'll bring you color analysis, and that was Nick Teague back at Chap Central in Lubbock, producing this one for us here live on the Chap Radio Sports Network. The 5-seed Lubbock Christian and the 4-seed Pitt State getting ready to hit the floors. Both teams finishing in the huddle. Lady Chaps in the all-black uniforms trimmed in red, white, and blue. Lady and Chaps spelt out in white on the front numbers. Red numbers on the front and back for LCU in the all-black. Coaches in the polos as well. The blue tops and gray bottoms for Steve Gomez and company on the sideline. On the other side for Pitt State, they're in the all-white home uniforms as the higher seed with red and yellow trimming the sides. Pitt spelled out in script across the chest in red to match the red numbers on the front and back. We're just about set here for the national quarterfinal in the NCAA Division II Women's Basketball Championship. Nathan Karseno with you courtside, joined by Brennan Riker, and Nick Teague is back at Chap Central producing this one here on the Chap Radio Sports Network. We want to give a shout out to our sponsor as well, the official corporate sponsor, Lake Ridge Chapel and Memorial Designers, as Lake Ridge Chapel's been serving the community of Lubbock since 2007. In the center, it'll be Corinna Gerber and Grace Foster, as we are just about set here courtside at Cooper Fieldhouse. The nightcap of today's quarterfinal in the Elite Eight. Foster and Gerber. The jump ball is won by Pitt State, and we are underway as the Gorillas move left to right here on the Chap Radio Sports Network in this first quarter. Around a screen, a three-pointer is up off the back iron, no good from Holmes, and Foster gets the rebound for LCU. Lady Chaps moving in the all-black right to left.
Pittsburg State wasted no time trying to find a rhythm from 3 offensively within the first 20 seconds of this game.
They miss on the first shot of the game as Foster now in the high post. Backdoor cut to Robertson. She puts it in with the left hand. LCU on the board first with the layup.
Great action by the Lady Chaps.
As Lady Chaps move in transition, here comes Macy Maddox, the All-American honorable mention in her 5th year out of Lubbock, Texas. On the perimeter, handoff back to Maddox. On the right side, up to Foster. She's left alone from 3. Counter from downtown. Grace Foster puts it in.
Yeah, if you're Pittsburg State, you can't leave Grace Foster open at the top of the key or she's going to make you pay.
LCU's all-time leading scorer, over 2,000 career points, and she adds 3 more there. 5-0 LCU. Drive and kick in the right corner. Pitt State working around the perimeter. Now feed it into Gerber, guarded by Foster with the left hand off the window and in.
Yeah, Gerber's going to find her shots down low. It's going to be interesting to see how Foster and Schumann battle down low against her. You can't be afraid to be physical against her.
Gerber had 34 points and 10 rebounds in their last game. Left side, here's a pick and roll. 3-pointers off the front rim, no good from Maddox as she bounced around a Foster screen from the left side.
I like the shot. Macy was big in scoring in the regional tournament for LCU. Like that she's trying to get in there.
Good ball movement from Pitt State, works its way back to Gerber, but off the heel, no good on the turnaround baby hook, and Foster corrals another rebound. Lady Chaps start the game shooting 2 of 8 from the field, 1 for 4 from Circle K 3-point range. Kick out right side, pump fake, 1 dribble into a wide open Lozano Davila. She puts it in for 2.
And that's really good by Holmes because she was open for 3, takes the bounce pass down low, and a good shot by Davila.
Now here's Spurgeon with the post move to the left hand. It's good off the glass. Audrey Spurgeon with her first bucket of the game.
Spurgeon played some big minutes in the regional tournament, and she's going to play some big minutes tonight.
LCU trails 10-7 here with 4:30 to go in this first quarter. Almost a foul there, but it's a good deflection from Spurgeon, and it's knocked away. We'll stay with the Lady Shaps after they force a miss. Now we'll be at our media timeout. 4:25 to go in the first quarter. Pitt State 10, Lubbock Christian 7. We'll be back after this live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the Elite Eight on the Chap Radio Sports Network. We also want to give a shout out back on campus to the watch party at the McDonald Moody Auditorium at Lubbock Christian University. We have a great crowd on hand back at LCU rooting us on and watching and listening on the broadcast and here on the Chap Radio Sports Network. So we thank you all for tuning in and showing out for your Lady Chaps, as right now they're in a tight battle here with Pitt State. 10-7 on the scoreboard with 4:25 to go in the first quarter. Brendan, what are some of your thoughts in the first moments of this ball game here at the media timeout?
Well,
For the Lady Chaps, as Macy Maddox has the ball moving right to left after the media timeout. In the all-black uniforms for Lubbock Christian with the Elite Eight patch on the left chest as well. Feed into Foster on the left block. One-on-one. Grace, spin move to the left hand, off the glass. It's good for two. A tough move from the All-American.
and they give Foster just a little bit space down low. She's able to enter the paint, and from there she just goes to work and does what she does best.
Robertson had 2 blocks and a steal in LCU's last game in all 40 minutes in that regional championship, defeating Texas Women's to get to this national quarterfinal here in Pittsburgh. Grace Pyle, 2-dribble mid-range is pure from the right side. She knocks it down.
Yeah, Schumann tried stepping up, but at that point that she released still is too late. Good jumper.
Here's Matthews on the crossover, down to the left block. She's double-teamed, picked up her dribble. Now Kimber is able to escape. Hands it back off to Macy Maddox here with 1:20 to play. LCU trails 17-9. Maddox attacks down to the right block. Drags it back out. A cutting Matthews off the glass, too strong, but a late foul called. And we'll have 2 shots from the sophomore out of Groover, Texas, Kimber Matthews. As there's about a 2-second differential shot clock to game clock, Macy Maddox with the waist-high dribble right at midcourt here on the Duquesne logo here at Cooper Fieldhouse. Macy puts the play into motion on the left wing. She gets the handoff back from Robertson with 5 seconds to shoot. Macy, top of the key, attacks, kick out, extra pass to the corner. Tia Johnson, the 3-ball at the buzzer, air balls over the rim, and a shot clock violation. There still should be about 1 second left on the game clock, but 94 feet away, Pitt State will get the ball back. Take the air out of the basketball to end the first quarter. The 4-seed Pitt State on top of the 5-seed Lubbock Christian. Your score is 17-11, but a whole lot of basketball still to go here at the Fieldhouse in downtown Pittsburgh. We'll step aside, and when we come back, we'll get you the rest of this first half live on the Chap Radio Sports Network. So now here we are getting the second quarter underway. Pitt State leads 17-11. Lady Chaps get the basketball. On the floor is Tia Johnson, Macy Maddox, Kennedy Chappell, Audrey Robertson, and Grace Foster. Macy moves right to left, crossing the timeline for LCU. Now puts the play in motion. Top of the key, Johnson looking to feed into Foster. Bounce pass gets to her on the left block. Grace one-on-one with Davila. Pump fake to the left hand, off the glass and in. What a move to open the second quarter for the All-American Grace Foster.
You're not going to be able to guard her one-on-one. Such a savvy move. She knew she had her opponent beat.
She has 7 of LCU's 13 points. Grace Pyle picks up her dribble, skip pass to the left side. There's Schreiner, put the ball on the deck, on the baseline, just got it away to James. Now Pitt State leaves open a wide open Nilgis. She connects from downtown.
Yeah, LCU trying to apply pressure defensively, but
A lane opens up, but a missed jump shot off the glass from Pyle, and LCU gets the rebound. Lady Chaps the other way. Left wing, Robertson, pump fake the 3. Now curves it around the 3-point arc. Over to Maddox. Uses a screen from Spurgeon, who stays set on this one. Macy in the free throw line with the floater, and it's good. A couple baskets now for Macy Maddox right on cue, getting her going offensively. LCU gets the ball. Reese Schumann checking in for Audrey Spurgeon as they will likely trade playing time here. Grace Foster, Macy Maddox, and Audrey Robertson have yet to sit with 5.5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
LCU 12 points in the paint to Pittsburg State's 14 points in the paint. So right now, Pittsburgh's finding it on both ends, perimeter and paint.
Gorillas lead 24-19. Here's Foster in the mid-range. Bounce pass into the right block. Robertson's going to post up. She goes off the glass and in.
She is showing off her strength here in the Elite Eight. No better time to show that off than on one of the biggest stages in the game.
Quickly ahead, Pitt State the other way, and another travel violation on the Gorillas. Make that their 5th turnover, and back-to-back in consecutive possessions.
And when LSU can get back...
We welcome you back to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for the Division II Women's Basketball Elite Eight. 5-seed Lubbock Christian and the 4-seed Pitt State. Of course, that is Pittsburg State out of Kansas, and we don't want to get anybody confused with Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but there was legislation back in the 1800s that actually prohibited states and cities with the word Berg in the name to drop the H, and so everybody had just a B-U-R-G naming on the end of their word, but then eventually the people of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania were able to get the H added back on because the city was founded before that legislation. So that kind of makes the confusion solved, at least in this matchup between Pitt State in Pittsburgh. Of course, Pittsburg State out of Pittsburgh, Kansas, in the southeast corner of the state, a whole 907 miles away from this Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania. LCU inbounds on the far sideline. Lady Shaps trail by 3, 24-21 here in the second quarter as Foster pops up and gets the ball on the right wing. Foster on the dribble to the baseline, picks up her dribble in the mid-range. Backdoor cut from Robertson. She goes up and puts it in off the glass. Another backdoor cut connection from Foster to Robertson for 2.
4 on one side, Robertson on the left side. Just guarded 1-on-1. Great cut to the basket and layup.
Here's another backdoor from Gerber, and now she'll answer on this end of the floor. Pitt State now back up by 3 once again.
And that's what we talked about. You got to get back as soon as a bucket is made, or if you miss a shot, you got to get back so quickly.
Left side, Maddox thought about the 3. Instead was going to bounce around to Foster screen. 4 minutes to go. LCU trails 26-23 here in the first half. Now 1-on-1. Foster on the left block, guarded by Holmes. Into the lane, another pump fake, a fall away, off the glass, and she kisses it home. What a start for Grace Foster.
Yeah, Pittsburg State is learning Grace Foster right now.
She is green as an avocado here in this first half. Macy James on the dribble at the free throw line, kicks it out to the left wing. Grace Pyle feeds it into Gerber, faces up on Schumann, and lifts it up and in. A knuckleball found the bottom of the net.
Kind of hand down, man down right there. Reese wasn't all the way up, and great shot over Reese.
Gerber's got 10 points to lead all scorers. Pitt State in front, 28-25. Back and forth affair here after the last media timeout. Right wing, Kennedy Chappell feeds it into Foster once again. Grace 1-on-1 on the right block this time. Draw some contact, but goes up once again. The fall-away jumper is good.
Yeah, Sydney Holmes trying to flop. She's done that a couple of times. Refs aren't biting on that.
Check that. The leading scorer in the ball game is 13 points from Grace Foster as she brings LCU back within 1.
That indecisiveness is what leads to turnovers.
Macy Maddox, the mid-range jumper, nothing but net as LCU is able to get somewhat of a 2-for-1. Now a 5-second differential shot clock to game clock after the basket. LCU trails by 1. Pitt State 30 and LCU 29 with 23 seconds to go in the second quarter. Grace Pyle at the midcourt logo. Now with 10 seconds to shoot. A double screen coming. She puts the ball on the deck. Pyle to the left wing. Skip pass to the right side. Schreiner. Dribble penetration over to Lozano Davila, and a foul called right at the end of the shot clock. The season as well, she rattles in and out the next free throw as she is 7 of 11 on the season. Into the clock, Maddox off the front rim, no good. Man, LCU nearly with a buzzer beater to end the second quarter, but nonetheless a very competitive game here at the halftime break. Through 20 minutes, the 4-seed Pittsburg State 31 and the 5-seed Lubbock Christian 29. We're halfway home, and we're going to step aside here in a moment, send it out to Nick Teague for your Lady Shap halftime report as we step aside here live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. LCU trails by 2 here at halftime in the Elite Eight National Quarterfinals. You're tuned in live to LCU Lady Shap basketball on the Chap Radio Sports Network. We welcome you back to UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse as we are courtside here at the home of the Duquesne University Dukes in a beautiful venue, the site of the NCAA Division II Women's Basketball Championship, the Elite Eight. LCU back in the top national tournament for the first time since 2021. Courtside with you, Nathan Karseno and Brennan Riker to my right. Nick Teague back at Chap Central in Lubbock, Texas. 31-29, a very competitive ball game as we kind of got the tail of the tape in the box score just a moment ago. Lady Chap shooting 46% from the field as a team and just 1 of 7 from Circle K three-point range. And on the other side, Pitt State with a 48% clip on the ball game in total. Both teams have knocked down 13 field goals, but Pitt State holding on to the lead thanks to one more free throw than LCU, but also one more three-pointer made for the 31-29 score in a
for which team goes on a run here to start the third quarter.
Gorillas get the ball first in the all-white uniforms, the quote-unquote home team of this neutral site ball game as the higher seed. Uniforms trimmed in red and yellow. They move right to left with the basketball to start this third quarter here on the Chap Radio Sports Network. At the rim, Reese Schumann with a big block on the drive from Grace Pyle. It'll stay with Pitt State, and they inbound here with a fresh shot clock.
Pyle had just a little bit of room to cut to the basket, but good job by Reese with the clean block.
Macy James with a step through, but that's blocked by Robertson on this end, and LCU forces a miss. Here comes the Lady Chaps in the all-black New Balance uniforms, trimmed in red, white, and blue. They shoot to our right. Backdoor cut from Robertson, almost missed the pass, and only resort is to throw it back in bounds to the Gorillas. Turnover LCU.
Yeah, great.
Here's James on the hesitation crossover. Back out to the left wing where Holmes puts the ball on the floor, guarded by Foster. Now at the elbow, Gerber faces up on Audrey Spurgeon, who just checked in. Put it up and in. Count it plus the foul on the and one for Corinna Gerber. She's now got 14 points and looks to get 3 the hard way.
And the bad news is that's foul number 3 on Audrey Spurgeon. And on top of that, a 7-0 run to start the third quarter for Pitt State.
Spurgeon just checked in for Reese Schumann as Gerber connects on the free throw. Believe their largest lead of the game officially at double digits, 39-29 for the 4 seed over the 5 seed. LCU got the rebound. They set up the offense here to our right.
You need a spark. You need something to spark right now for LCU.
Right wing Robertson. She faces up on the defense. McCoy pops out. Grace was open for a moment under the basket. Now she'll get the feed just outside of the left block. Guarded by Gerber. One-on-one. Foster. A hesitation. The turnaround jumper is good. Timeout Steve Gomez after Grace Foster is up to 15 points on the game to lead LCU. They now trail 39-31 with 6:23 to go in the third quarter. You're tuned in to the national quarterfinals in NCAA Division II women's basketball. We'll be back after this, live on the Chap Radio Sports Network. We welcome you back to UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse, named after Naismith Hall of Fame basketball player Chuck Cooper, who was a Duquesne alum and back 75 years ago was the first African-American drafted to the National Basketball Association, picked by the Boston Celtics in 1950. Now is a Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer. Chuck Cooper, the namesake here of Cooper Fieldhouse. I believe he was number 15 up there in the retired numbers of Duquesne men's basketball. Of course, they had a pretty good upset win in last year's March Madness tournament. The 11-seed Dukes defeated the 6-seed BYU in the first round. Busted a couple people's brackets, but I will say I had Duquesne in that game as a humble brag. Rest of my bracket kind of fell apart, but similar to this.
Pitt outscoring LCU 8-2 here in the third quarter, 39-31. Now you got to start putting together some stops and also start working on getting defensive rebounds off missed shots.
Defense chant coming alive from the LCU faithful across the court from us. We've made the trip here to Pittsburg, Pennsylvania. Pitt State out of Kansas with the possession. On the right side of the floor, a backdoor cut and an extra pass back out to the perimeter. Holmes into the lane, pump fake, and rattles in the little floater from 12 feet out.
Holmes has great range.
Robertson to inbound. She finds Foster. Now backdoor cut to Chappell, and Kennedy Chappell's on the board with the wide open layup.
Great cut by Kennedy. Good job by Marty down low, helping clear space for her cut. Now get a stop, then go get a bucket.
Credit Grace Foster with her 4th assist. Here's Pyle from way downtown. It's good. Count it from distance for Grace Pyle. She came in leading the country in three-pointers made. LCU on the ensuing possession. Left wing Audrey Robertson. Now back up to Chappell. They reverse to the right side of the floor. LCU, some good ball movement on the perimeter. Backdoor cut, and the pass wasn't there from McCoy. Turnover LCU as she sailed it past the baseline. And that one's tipped out of bounds from the defense of the Gorillas, trying to stay in front of Grace Foster, who has 18 points to lead all scorers.
You have a little bit of time for an inbound set. You need a bucket on this possession.
Inbound quickly to Foster in the left corner. Now back up to the wing. Schumann looking over the defense, finding a passer in Maddox. Macy crossover, now steps back. The three-pointer is up. The rainbow falls home, and it finds gold at the bottom. Maddox, count it from downtown. LCU trails by 5. A half-second differential, shot clock to game clock here in the third quarter. Grace Pyle holds the ball at the waist. Now with 10 seconds to shoot. She uses a screen from Nilgis. Pyle, guarded by Robertson, over to Nilgis. The catch and shoot 3 ball off the back iron. Loose ball under the basket, and a shot's blocked away at the end of the third quarter. The number 4 seed, Pittsburg State, 46, and the 5 seed, Lubbock Christian, 41, in a tightly contested ball game here in Pittsburgh. We'll be back to the NCAA Division II Women's Basketball Championship in the quarterfinal round right after this. You're tuned in live to the Chap Radio Sports Network. Right now, the Gorillas on top of the Lady Chaps, 46-41. We thank you so much for tuning in here on the Chap Radio Sports Network, whether that be 99.1 FM back in Lubbock, Texas, or nationwide, chapradio.com. LCU student-run station. We know that the LCU faithful back on campus is tuned in at the McDonald Moody Auditorium as they're simulcasting the audio and video stream. So thank you so much to Chap Nation, who's tuned in back in the 806, and to the rest of LCU across the country. We thank you so much for tuning in. We got a good bunch here in Pittsburgh who is sitting behind the LCU bench across the way from us, and they're going to need all of your support if the Lady Chaps can find a way to come back here in the fourth quarter, as they have trailed for the majority of. So 47-41 is the Pitt State lead with 9 minutes to go in the ball game. LCU drops back defensively. They switch here on the ball handler, Macy James in the right mid-range. She finds Campbell, puts the ball on the deck, guarded by Foster. 7 seconds to shoot, deep in the corner. That's Nilgis. Now back out to Pyle from the left side, carving through the lane. She's left open and puts in the mid-range floater.
And that sucks right there, because that's an unfortunate defensive possession for the Lady Chaps.
Lady Chaps down by 8. Robertson with a pick and roll. Foster wasn't there on the pass. Now Kennedy Chappell on the right side. Finds Foster on the left lane line, guarded by the smaller Nilgis. Pump fake, up for the 2, count it, plus the foul. And Grace Foster's going to let you hear about it after the and 1. She's got 20 points.
That time they double her, it doesn't matter. She gets to the contact.
Pitt State with the ball, shooting to our left, up 49-44, under 7 to go in the fourth quarter. Left side, that's Harper Schreiner with a drive along the baseline, drift pass to the right corner. The catch and shoot 3 is good from Macy James, her first triple of the game. Back to an 8-point lead for the Gorillas. LCU storming ahead the other way. So with 6 seconds on the shot clock, the Gorillas going to inbound in front of their own bench.
You are at the point of a game where you're going to have to force a lot of missed shots, and you need a run. You haven't really gone on a run. LCU's largest run of the game is a 5-0 run. You need something larger than that.
I believe that was to start the game. Here is Karenna Gerber at the end of the shot clock, through the LCU defense, off the glass and in, back to a 10-point lead.
And they've found some tough shots at the end of the buzzer.
Now a pass deflected by Maddox, her second turnover. Here comes Pitt State after the LCU giveaway. They lead 54-44, just past the halfway point of this fourth quarter. Here's Maddox, also played every second of this game. Uses the flare screen out to the left wing. Up to Robertson, now handoff back to Macy. Audrey opens up, she'll catch and shoot, and knocks it down. Count it from distance, and a quick timeout by Gomez. Robertson, her first made three-pointer of the game. Lady Shaps just 3 of 15 from Circle K three-point range, but they're back within a 7-point game. Now a timeout. Now back to James, and it's intercepted by Robertson. Audrey all the way to the cup. The fast break layup is good.
There you go. Get a steal, you get a bucket.
56-49 here in the fourth quarter. LCU trying to will their team to victory here from the sideline across from us. Macy James guarding the ball handler. Feeds it into Gerber. Another LCU steal as Foster poked it away from Gerber. Here come the Lady Shaps left to right. Under 3 to play.
Great active hands and really good job by Spurgeon to stay with it and collect it and ensure LCU gets the ball.
Now they're going to take their time here setting up this ball screen at the top of the key with Maddox. Macy keeping the dribble alive. Hand off to Kennedy Chappell. She attacks through the lane. Up with the right hand. It's good off the glass. LCU back within 5. 56-51. 2.5 minutes to go in the fourth.
That's back-to-back possessions with 4 points off turnovers. This game ain't over, folks.
Almost a bad pass on the far sideline, but Schreiner keeps it in bounds. Now back to the point guard, James. She'll rise from mid-range. Nothing but net. A big answer there, but it's just a 2-pointer.
And that's a good jumper. You can live with that.
58-51, Pitt State in front. Maddox picks it up near midcourt on the inbound, moving left to right. LCU into motion. Right wing, Foster. She gets it now on the block, guarded by Gerber one-on-one. Draws some contact off the glass, up and in from the block. And Grace with another bucket. She's up to 23.
Yeah, she might not have a rhythm from 3, but down
here's a
low,
trap
she's deadly.
from LCU in the backcourt. They get it crossed half court, and James now back off to the ball handler, Pyle. Left alone, a skip passes into Gerber, and she got behind the LCU defense for 2.
Yeah, Gerber.
LCU to inbound, still trailing 62-53. Here, half a minute to go in the fourth quarter. Maddox in the mid-range, up to Chappell. Left alone, hesitated on the three-pointer, and now out to Foster on the left wing. She'll rise and just misses the shooter's roll from 3. Fight for the loose ball and a foul called on LCU. That could just about do it. LCU's played with 10.2 seconds remaining, adding to the 64-55 lead for Pitt State is Macy James, 5'7" junior out of Goddard, Kansas. First one is good, 79% free throw shooter. James now into double figures, the third Gorilla with at least 10 points in this game. They are one of the highest scoring teams in the country, and in field goal percentage, haven't quite met those averages, but nonetheless, took care of business here in the national quarterfinal. 5 seconds to shoot. Chappell launches, back iron 3 missed. The fight for the ball is back to Maddox as the time runs out. Lubbock Christian's season comes to an end at the hands of the 4-seed Pittsburg State. LCU falls for just the 5th time in the NCAA tournament since turning Division II in 2016. Your final score, Pittsburg State 66, Lubbock Christian 55. Pitt State continues their season as they'll move on to the national semifinals on Wednesday and take on the number 1 seed Grand Valley State. They improved to 33-3 on the season. The Gorillas having one of their best years in program history. In Lubbock Christian, after being back in the Elite Eight for the first time since their 3rd national championship in 6 years, Lady Shaps have their season come to an end with a 32-5 record overall. Again, we'll get to all the departing seniors and the final numbers of this ball game and what the season that was for Lubbock Christian here coming up in our post-game show, but we'll sign off for a moment. Once again, your final score from Pittsburg State Gorillas out of Kansas, 65, and Lubbock Christian, 55, here at Cooper Fieldhouse. We'll be back right after this on the Chap Radio Sports Network.